Hello everyone, it's DyLighted, and we're going to be playing a ranked match on Catan Universe today. So immediately, I look at the ores, and I'm already hovering over the 5, 8, 10, because that's the strongest producing ore spot, and it gives me 9 points of ore and 3 points of wheat, and it adds up to 12. However, the only concern is I have low wheat, so I'm considering placing on the 8, 10, 3, and it gives me 5 points of wheat and 5 points of ore. However, as first position, I don't feel comfortable conceding the strongest ore spots to my opponents, so I'm going to go back to the 5, 8, 10 and lock in. Also, the 5, 8, 10 gives 12 points compared to the 8, 10, 3, which only gives 10. So, the 5, 8, 10 is definitely the right pick. I'm also going to point my road towards the coast because I'm looking to get to that 5 or 3 for 1 port right now. Now I agree with second position's pick on the 8, 4, 3. That's definitely the right pick. I'd probably point towards the coast too. As third position, I think you have to start looking for what are the rare resources on this board. And I see that's brick. And he instantly snaps to that, and I agree with him. However, I disagree with orange's road. I probably would have pointed it down or to the right trying to get to the 3 for 1 ports. Now as fourth position, you definitely have to take the 6, 5, 9 because that's the strongest wheat, and it gives you the killer 13 points. And yep, green places on the 5, 6, 9. I agree with that. Well, let's see where he places the red. I disagree with green's road. I would have pointed the road downwards and tried to go for the 9, 10 right there because it's not contested by orange. And that's also just a really good spot. And green placed that 2, 6, 9. I like that spot, but I don't like that road. I feel like pointing it inwards is just a danger to get cut off. Third position is going to place there. And yup, third position starts with the free red, and green is set up to get cut off. As green, I'd definitely point my red towards the coast trying to get to the port as soon as possible. Pointing your road inwards is just getting so greedy, and it gets you punished exactly like that. And red does a really surprise move and places on the 3, 4, 8. That makes absolutely no sense. The reason why I say that's bad is because first off, red's weakness is low wheat. And if you look at it, red only has 2 points of wheat. The other reason why I disagree with that spot, because red has no diversity of numbers. She has 2, 3, 4, and 8s, so it's very feast or famine for her. Also, lastly, red concedes a 3, 11, 6 for me, and that is an amazing spot for me. This solves my low wheat issue, and it gives me a high or wheat sheep. I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I'm going to point my roads to the right, and hoping that I get to the 11, 6, 12 right there. So let's play. So immediately I get an 8, and now I'm going to buy a development card, looking for a knight. Because Catan is about exponential growth, and if you get stifled at the beginning with the robber, then it really hinders your growth. And just like that, a 7 is rolled. This is actually huge because red can disrupt orange's plan by trying to steal from him, and he does. The reason why I say that is because remember how I said orange had a free road in his hand? If red takes the wood from orange and breaks his free road, green will be able to beat him to the race instead. So let's just see if orange can still build his road. And yes, he does, so he won the coin flip. Go him. And green does indeed get punished for building his road inwards. And 8 is rolled, giving me more ore, which is nice. A 2 is rolled, giving green brick. And red buys a development card, searching for an early knight just like me. So red is getting the resources in pairs, making them more likely to get hit by the robber. Now I get a brick. And I need a wood with that. Pretty interesting, but green and orange is still racing. If green builds on that wood port, then orange can't build on that 2, 5 spot anymore. Then orange is going to be racing me to that 3 for 1, 5 ore spot. I'm going to try to trade for some wood, since I need wood, since I don't produce any. And green counters offers for wheat, but I don't have any, so I'm forced to decline. And let him know inside the chat that I don't have wheat. A 5 is rolled, giving me ore. An 8 is rolled, giving me even more ore. And I finally get a wheat to go with that ore. Green offering me 2 sheep, but on this board there's plenty of sheep and everyone has it, so sheep is really devalued on this board. So I'm gonna say no to his deal and completely counteroffer it. I'm gonna say no to this deal. Oh, and red takes the deal. Red is sitting at 13 cards. I hope a 7 is rolled, and she gets punished for holding her cards. So I'm still looking for a wood, so I'm gonna go trade for a wood to build a road. Let's see. I'm gonna offer an ore, hoping that green will give me a wood, since I know green doesn't produce wood. But looks like he doesn't want it. And we're just gonna see what he wants for a wood then. Since I'm pretty confident green does have a wood. He wants a wheat. I'm gonna say no to that. I sort of need my wheat. I'm just gonna buy a development card instead of putting a red. I feel like the price of wood is just inflated at the moment because the robber is blocking the 9 wood. I think after the robber gets off the 9 wood, the price of wood will drop a little bit, and green will be more willing to trade wood. And red is at 17 resources, and she doesn't get punished at all. She's offering a sheep, but really no one wants a useless sheep. And she says no to my deal and does 2 4-for-1s for 2 woods, which is insane. Wow. And she builds a road in a settlement. The first point of the game. Orange's turn. He rolls a 6, I get a sheep. And wow, orange does a 4-for-1. Could have just traded with me instead. I'd be happy. 9 is rolled, and everyone's wood is blocked. It looks like green wins that race. But this is actually pretty bad for me, because if orange still wants to pursue the race, then we're going to be racing for that 5 or 3-for-1 port right there. And orange has a lot better road building than I do. I'm going to look for a wood again. And green counter trades me with 2 wheat and ore. That's an insane price. I'd be willing to give a sheep and an ore. Let's see. Green wants an entire development card. Ah, you're crazy, green. I'm so sorry. I think the price of wood is just super inflated at the moment. I'm just gonna wait for the robber to get off. Another 9 is rolled, giving green a wheat, blocking everyone's wood once more. A 10 is rolled, giving me a wheat. An orange offering me an insane deal. I'm gonna snap yes to this. Oh wait, I forgot that we're racing. Well. What a disaster. I get another wheat. Ah, a 7 rolls and I'm forced to discard. I'm gonna get rid of my sheep actually, instead of my brick, I think. And the reason behind this is because I barely produce any brick. I'm gonna place a robber on that 8 brick and block orange because I still think I still have a small chance of winning that ore port right there. And I think if I get that, it is huge. And I'm obviously gonna steal from orange too. And I'm gonna city up that 5, 8, 10, which is insane. I get a sheep, that's nice. 2 ores, that city putting in work already. Another 8, giving me even more ore. Green does a 4-for-1. I don't know why he doesn't at least try trading before he does a 4-for-1. A third 8 rolls again, giving me even more ore. I'm looking at the game log to see what other people have, just so I can give more efficient trades. And green accepts my trade, and I get a wood for an ore. Also, something to note is, your general turn should be trading goes first, then buying development cards. and then building anything. And a good example of why you do that is on screen right now. If I decided to build a road, and then I bought my development card getting myself a road building, then I would have wasted my wooden brick. But instead now I can save the wooden brick for my settlement, which is really good for me since now I can win the race against orange. And red buys another development card, looking for a knight. And I know that red's first development card is not a knight, because otherwise red would have moved that robber off of that brick. A 10 rolls, which is really good, and green sees that I get wheat and he really wants it, and I think I'm going to take that deal. I let him get a city, but I also did get 2 resources, and I really need wood. I'm just going to try to do a little bit of trading right here before I build, see what I can get. And nothing. And I'm going to use my road building and then beat out orange to that spot. Poor guy, he's probably going to get mad at me. And I'm going to do 3 for 1 with my new 3 for 1 port and buy development card. I'm going to apologize to orange right now, just so I can hopefully help my table image so he doesn't target me as much. I sympathize with you. Right now you have a total of 4 wasted reds. That's quite sad, and you lost both your races. That's why I recommend not racing. Whenever a 6 rolls, green gets a free resource plus a sheep, because he has a wood port, so he can convert that wood into anything he wants. This time he converts it to brick and wheat. And he has intention to build on that 11-4-5. I wonder if orange is going to try to race green again for that 4-11-5 spot. It would be pretty sad to see him lose again and have more wasted roads. What a weird road by green. I was not expecting that. If anything, I would have pointed that road downwards to cut off any thought of orange trying to take that 4-5-11 spot. So I'm still going to try to trade for a wheat or a brick, since I'd like a development card, or at least try to work my way up to build on that 11-6-12, but no luck there. Everyone says no. Now orange says inside the chat that he's going to give all his resources to green. That's no fun. Red is going to use his year of plenty to get 2 wheat and then build a city on the 8-4-3, which is also a killer spot. It doubles their wheat production too. So orange makes the decision to not race green again, probably learning from last time. A 7 rolls and hit by the robber again. I'm gonna dump my sheep. I think I'm gonna keep 1 sheep because if a 3 or 10 rolls at all, I like to build my settlement as soon as possible. But I get robbed and I lose my brick, so that doesn't happen. Red telling orange that maybe you could use this time to think of a better strategy for the next game instead of throwing this one. And I agree with that, red. So I'm obviously going to use my knight since I have 3 of them. I think green is the biggest threat, so I'm thinking about how the biggest way to hurt green. And I'm looking, maybe it's his wheat. But I'm looking at that 9, I realize that this hurts everyone. And whenever a 9 rolls, green gets a free resource, so putting it on the wood 9 is infinitely better than the wheat 9. I'm definitely going to steal from green because I think he's the biggest threat out of everyone. A 4 rolls giving red 4 resources. Red still doesn't have any wheat though. Finally got a break so I can build on that 6, 11, 12. And wow, orange is really giving all his resources to green. Orange trying to make trades for green. Another 4 rolls and red has a bunch of ore and a bunch of sheep, but no wheat. And that's the issue of having low wheat. Red is having some connection issues. Hopefully she comes back. Green decides to build a road downwards, looking to get to that wheat port down there. This can get pretty scary since whenever a 6 rolls, green is going to be able to convert all that wood to whatever he wants and all that sheep to whatever it wants. I'm going to try trading for some wheat, but no one's willing to give any. I'll sweeten the deal a little bit. And no biters except for green. So I'm actually going to say no to this deal because I think this benefits green more than it benefits me. And whenever you do a trade, you have to remind yourself that I'm also helping my opponent. And in this case, I feel like green is the next biggest threat next to me. So I'd rather not trade with my competitor. And I have a 3-for-1 port, so I'm just going to use that and build a settlement instead. So an 11 rolls, giving me a road. Red uses the monopoly, taking the brick I just got. Red does 2 4-for-1s for 2 wheats, and that's just so inefficient. Orange is going to give green whatever resources he needs. And I know that there's no wheat on this board besides green's 1 wheat, so I'm just going to do 3-for-1. And I get a victory point. It's really good for me, actually. 7 is rolled, punishing both red and green. And red puts the robber on my wheat, but steals from orange instead, which is a really questionable decision. I feel like out of orange and me, I'm definitely the much bigger threat. I also want to note real quick that green with 1 more road can get longest road, so green's actually at 8 points, which is scary. And once again, orange is trying to trade with green to give him the resources that he wants. Hopefully he says no. And he does, which is nice. Another 7 is rolled. This time green puts it on my 8 ore. It steals from me, takes my wood. Converts the wood to brick. And he builds on the sheep port. So green is getting pretty scary with both the wood and sheep port. Both on 6s. I'm gonna play my knight to get it off of me. And I'm gonna stick it right back on that 9 right there. And hit green. Yikes, that gives green a lot of resources. I'm gonna look for a brick. So the reason why I'm looking for a brick right here is because first off, my roads come at a 1-to-1 exactly because whenever an 11 rolls, I get both a brick and a wood. So having excess wood is really useless for me. So I'm trying to get a brick to pair with it. Also, I'm looking at ways to win right now. So I have a 3rd knight that'll put me at 8 points. And what else can give me 2 points? I can build either a city and settlement, or 2 cities, or I can take a sneaky longest road right here. If you see, I only need 3 roads to win, so I'm looking for a brick to do that. A 2 is rolled, hopefully I can trade green for some of that brick. Oh, and a 7 is rolled, and let's hope he doesn't dump it. And he does. Orange puts the robber on the 8 ore, which I agree with, but he steals from red, which I disagree with. Red and I on the surface are tied in points, but really I'm way ahead of red because I can play a knight and jump to 8, and I have a port, and I have wheat, So I truthfully think I'm way ahead of red. So I think it was a big mistake by orange not stealing from me and stealing from red instead. But hey, I'll take that. So I get my wheat fix, which is nice. I'm gonna probably city up now, so I can appear tied with green. And green really wanting my orange so he can city up, but no way. Oh, orange of course trades it with him. Not fair. I'm gonna play my knight right here and get largest army and take the lead. I feel like I'm in a good position to take the lead because I have a 3-for-1 port, I have 2 hexes of wheat, there's no vulnerable resource that'll really stifle me down, and they really want to hurt green as much as possible. Because of all that, I'm gonna play my knight. I'm gonna get a 3-for-1 and city up. The reason why I don't buy development cards is because half the deck is filled with knights, and I already have largest army and I don't really need knights, and I don't want to use luck and try to look for victory points, but I can get a solid point by getting a city instead. Hey, it's me from editing right now, and I realized on this turn I made a pretty big mistake, so I want you guys to try to pause and try to redo the turn. So the big thing I missed was potentially winning the game. Like I said earlier, to get longest road, I only needed 3 reds to get longest road. In my hand right now, I don't have enough to convert for that. But if you take a step back and realize what was just rolled, I got a 6. So this puts me at 5 sheep, and I only need 1 more sheep to get 6 cards. And remember, I have a 3-for-1 port. And also, green gets a lot of resources. Wood and sheep. So to make 3 reds, I need 3 woods and 3 brick. And green doesn't produce ore. So if I offered 2 ore for 1 wood and 1 sheep, and green took that deal, then that would give me enough resources to get longest red. So I just want to make my mistake clear. That could have ended up costing me the game. So red ends up doing 2 4-for-1s just for a single road. And that's just so inefficient. 8 resources for a single road. Orange's turn, and he gives all his resources to green. And that is a crazy amount of resources. Pleasant. And green buying 2 ore. Also, sadly, a friend red left the game. But it won't be long before this game's over, so didn't miss much. So this roll is pretty important. Let's see. I roll a 3, and that's the game. Convert it out of brick, and win the game. Telling other players good game, and they played well. So let's learn some lessons from this game real quick. I think the first lesson we can learn is, let's look at the die stats. If we look at the die stats, we see that 6s were rolled a lot of times. And let's see who is on 6s. We see green is on both 6 spots with both the wood and sheep port. And in addition to that, orange was dumping their resources onto green. Yet green still lost. This just showcases the inefficiency of using a port strategy because you have to convert all your resources 2 to 1. The second lesson we can take from this game is that having no wheat means you lose. Red had little wheat and they had to keep doing 4-for-1 trades, which is super inefficient. So the last lesson we can take from this game is don't race with your opponents unnecessarily. If you look at this board, you can see that orange had 6 wasted roads and was like a non-factor the entire game. And that just shows how badly the outcome of races can be, and that's why I recommend pointing towards the coast and just not racing at all. Alright, I hope you guys learned something from this game. If there's anything else that I can improve on or do better, just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys.